Welcome everyone to another episode of Appletown, a new beginning. Beyond that traffic mess, I think we've solved that quite a long time ago. We're up to episode 14 already, and how exciting. Take a look at the ships coming into the bay, and just take a look at this nice little city that we have captured the essence of so well and starting to develop different things. That nice tourist area down there in Robin Square, or Robin Park, excuse me. So anyway, today we're going to get right to it, and we're going to go in and work on a little bit of a traffic issue for first things first. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is quite a little mess here. As we are looking, it just never has felt quite right to me. So I'm going to break some things here and fix things up. Make it just a little bit more efficient. I think this 6 lane, I'm going to go ahead and extend out, but I'm going to change things just a bit, and we'll see what it looks like when we get done. I think that little bump in the middle is a good way to do it over a shallow river like this. So let's see. Alright. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of change this up entirely. Don't really like the way that it turned out. A intersection like that will do just fine. We shall see. There's going to be, I think that just streamlines it quite a bit. Let's see how that flows for a couple of minutes here. Just see if that straightens out some of that traffic nightmare that was. I think it will help a lot. I think we're going to have stacking over in this region. This guy right here. No matter what we do, we'll have some stacking onto Miller Avenue. On Miller Avenue. We've got a certain amount of traffic that does use multiple lanes there. I ran this road was running a certain way, and so I ran it straight across there. I don't know if I like that. I'm thinking I might change that. But anyway, we can see that I don't think this stop is too bad. And, it's a light there. but there isn't so much traffic coming to this area. Alright, so change that traffic just slightly, and alright, next, I think we've got medium demand for the commercial, so I think the thing I need to do over here is to expand commercial a bit, and so I'm going to do that, and I think I'll start with high density there, and I'm going to do low density in the interior, and I think all low density right here, flanked by the higher density. And I think we're going to leave it at that. Maybe some offices over here, or excuse me, offices. And maybe some smaller mom and pop shops over there would be good. I wonder if that's enough. Is that enough? I think I'll just go ahead. That's probably more than enough that I've built at this point. So let's let this guy run for a couple in 2-speed. The other place we really need to have traffic, or not traffic, we need to build out Bent Tree a little bit, but one of the reasons I haven't so far is we are not getting a lot of demand for residential, so I probably need to make sure that commercial and industry offices are well met in demand. But I think right now noticing some trash bots, but I will go ahead and just do maybe that much. We'll go ahead and do this whole area here. Looks so nice when it gets built up. Now I don't know what on earth that little square right there is. That's kind of interesting, but that will build up Bent Tree a little bit more. Bent Tree will continue to grow. Bent Tree is 345 teens, 130 children, and it is almost entirely low density. I'm pretty sure that is low density. Yeah, everything in their area is low density, so we might want to just pop in just a row of high rises here. Let me get rid of those guys. So that'll meet that demand. And wow, we've got a bit of traffic here exiting. It is comprised of what? We got some despawning going on too. Yeah, it looks like quite a bit over here. Are trucks that are trying to get, interestingly, over here. I don't know why they just don't come here, but actually I do see why they don't just come there. I always find it fascinating when I notice something about my cities that I haven't noticed before. And right now, a clear passage to this industrial area cannot be had from this highway right here. Coming from what would be east, Now, part of the restriction there is we've got this railway. It's very, very close to the highway. But that is interesting. Yeah, so I don't think there's a ton of traffic, though, honestly, coming from there. Well, there's a fair shake. Heading off here and then traveling all the way back here. This design may not be the best. Developing this whole area without any major roads. And then we've introduced a bigger road here. So I don't remember this happening before I put this in. And perhaps it wasn't as obvious a choice, or maybe that was part of the backup that was going on. So that I need to deal with. Some housekeeping here. Go ahead and get a bike path. Now, if you are over here in Leisure Heights and you want to get over to this region over here, you have bike paths along the roads, and you can get all the way out here to Harbor Hills and back. So, alright, so we've got some development going on here. Looks like we should build maybe some... I want to build a lot of office out here, but I think a little bit would be maybe just a small group of offices right there. And I believe I watered this last time. Yeah, I did. And wow, this is definitely filling up with trucks, and that is, I think, the preponderance of, yeah, these guys are wanting to go. You know, the other thing I'm noticing, and thanks for bearing with me trying to figure out traffic. Alright, if you want to go to, say you want to get over here to Orr Square. If you want to get over to this North Old Industry, you can come up here and flip around here and come in straight into the area, which is good. But if you want to go to Orr, you've got to take this route. And I don't know if that's their ultimate destination. Let's take a look at a little bit more. See what the most destination seems to be. Now, of course, to get over here to Leisure Heights, you've got the same situation. So I believe I have created a virtual monster here. So I gotta stop and think, what's the best way to solve that? Alright, I'm going to work on that for just a little bit here. Alright, so yeah, we need to look. This is just a lot of traffic that is truck traffic, essentially. A lot of truck traffic that is trying to get over here to either to Leisure Heights or over here to the Orr Square. So we're going to stop the simulation for a minute, and we're going to fix this and do a flyover. Let me first get rid of this, and I think I'm going to do a 2-lane. We're going to start that. We're starting that over again. So cut to this point. Alright, so first off, I'm going to just do a slight up here. Maybe just like that. And then I'm going to go out. And I need to be up to 15, I believe, here. I think that will do that. Now, I don't know. That's kind of drastic, darn it. I kind of want that to be a little bit longer. Well, okay. That's as far as I'm going to get it. I don't really want to take the people up to 15, then to drop back down. So I think this is a little bit better design. So let's see how that works to try to alleviate that traffic. I kind of like this. Nice little flyover, and you can see immediately they start responding to that by almost no traffic going this way. So I think that's going to be a success. We'll let that run for a minute. I do want to address the fact that when I built this originally, Victoria Heights and Brook Park and the cargo industrial up here and the cargo train terminal, I was most concerned with traffic coming from the various industrial areas that I'd built. You know, the native ones, the South Industrial, not Burr, but Robin Heights, North Old Industrial, and then we even have the Washington District and the Tree Farm up here. All of that had to come to the cargo station, and this was way out east. Originally, there wasn't any of this Lilac Park or anything. I was more concerned about that. So, but what I'm really thinking here is I need to do a reconfiguration. I don't mind this. I think this looks pretty good. It's not just a total spaghetti junction, and I think it functions pretty well. But I need to think about bringing in traffic here, and I'm thinking that a smooth, something just really smooth right along the railroad tracks here would work. But the problem with it that I see, I might be able to do this and connect to right here. That's something to think about. That gives direct access to Brook Park, but it's kind of still rather circuitous. You'd have to come through Brook Park, all these slow streets, and then come back here. I'd almost rather try to figure out a way to get people to connect up with this. Maybe a way to do it is build a little exit and then have it come up and connect back. We'll probably have to tear down some homes here. I don't love what I did here. I think I mentioned that before in another video, that I don't actually love it, but You know, the other thing that I'm noticing here, these guys on White Highway are using this as a turnaround to come back this direction and to go here. So that is interesting. That is definitely interesting. And that must be... Yeah, I'm just figuring this out. If we have cargo coming in here, this cargo comes back here, and if they want to go this other direction, they don't have a way to get back up here. So that is an interesting problem that we have introduced. Now, sometimes frontage roads are two-way. And I could change this to be a two-way frontage road, but I really don't want to do that. Let me see here. I don't want to follow the farm truck. I want to get White Street and fix this junction here. We don't need to be stopping traffic there. I think that I want 3 stop signs there. All right. Let's look at... Okay, so this needs some work because we're getting some traffic that's probably coming from... Let me just see. Yeah, see, there's no turnaround traffic coming from this way. The turnaround traffic is coming from Ashland Highway. They don't have a way to get back. So I think that we're going to solve that problem by simply going here. I'll just go ahead and fix it now. What the heck? Let's see. All right, what do I want to do? All right, so my first thought was build a road that would come up here and connect up here. And I actually don't know. I love this flyover now. If you look, there's hardly any backup here at all. And this isn't stacking at all. It's just not... It's not going too badly at all. I'm going to go ahead and fix this bridge. It's been bothering me. And then fix that. There we go. So now that looks much more natural. Yes, that looks good. All right. I'm trying to think. All right, I'm going to pause the simulation or pause the recording here and try to figure out what I want to do. All right, I think I figured out what I want to do with this. I haven't really tried this out like offline or anything, but I'm going to change this up a little bit, and I'm thinking that we can possibly harness some of the space that's available to us here. I think we can harness this space and go with the highway maybe a little bit. Alright, this is just a 2-lane. And I think this. Slope too steep. I just love when that happens. Yeah, I remember this being an issue before. Okay, let's see. So maybe this will work. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Wow, I do not like the angles there. Let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can fix this to be... Aha! Got that, baby. Alright, I don't love that, so we'll try to straighten that out. And try to straighten this out just slightly. There we go. I don't love this, but I'm going to leave it as is now. Alright, so now the question is, how do we take my bridge, which I really like, my flyover bridge, and do this. Alright, flyover. This is one way to skin the cat, but I don't particularly care for it. And we'll see how that flows. We'll see how it flows. I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm going to totally reserve judgment until I see how it's working. Now, here what we've introduced is an interesting... Oh, okay. So these guys are heading to the cargo station. So what we might be able to do here... I think this wasn't what I was going to work on right now. But I don't think that's too... I think that's what I want to do. That's... Alright, let's get those guys out of the way. Now I've created an intersection right off the interstate. Okay. Probably... Okay. Let's reconfigure some couple of things here. Boy, oh boy. All right, I'm gonna have to move this. All right, that's fine. All right, I move that guy back, and we move that, and then we're going to get rid of this guy, and come on. Boy, this is just not... There we go. This is not by any stretch of the imagination perfect. So if I do that, and just do that. All right. That's what I get for not thinking those things through before I start. This, like I said, this is not what I wanted to do. Darn it. It just isn't. I have to figure out what I want to do, and I am going to let them flow straight through, and I'm going to stop these guys. Yeah, I'm going to stop those guys because I don't want this to be a backup. Next, we're going to work a little bit on the residential areas that I haven't actually finished, and we have to deal with this residential demand. So I'm going to stop the simulation for a few minutes and talk a little bit about Lilac Park. All right, Lilac Park, for the most part, we have the high-density residential out on this perimeter. And I think I'm going to stick with that. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. Whoops. A little bit of that here. And let's see. Hold on a second. I'll just go ahead and turn that and that. And then I kind of want to do... I guess I'll do all of that. The light residential. This is kind of a main road, even though it's not a heavy road. So I think I'm going to leave traffic off of that. Excuse me, homes off of that. And this is the same. This is the same thing. I guess we could put in a few homes here. I'll go ahead and do a few homes along here. We've got a little bit of commercial here, and remember, commercial brings in truck traffic, so you have to at least think about that. All right, in the other area that we've got demand for this residential, so I want to get that going because I think we're in a little bit of a death spiral, just maybe a little bit of one right now. Maybe not a death spiral. We've definitely dropped in population, so we had a high of 61,902 according to that. So let's build. We haven't done a lot in Bent Tree. We haven't done a lot in Bent Tree for heavy duty, high density residential, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just do the high residential, high density. And then I think what the heck? I'm gonna go ahead and do all this as high density along there. And I think, look at that. Our lone little home that isn't attached to any street over here, and this guy's the same way. So that is funny that went ahead and built. But I'm going to do something here, and we're going to enhance bent tree a little bit. First off, let me see. Okay, bent tree is there, and then this is those wonderful high schools in this game. For this type of, what is this? The European tile set isn't my favorite. Now, most likely, this residential demand that we've had will be more than satisfied by this amount of building. And the other thing I want to do, let's go ahead and get this completed. I'm going to go ahead and, I know I just built some trees on here, but let's get all of this. Alright, we are importing now 7,147 and exporting 3862, so that's recovered a bit. I know what I wanted to check is... Alright, so leisure specialization, we're at 1,984 of 5,000 squares. And tourism, 1629 of 5,000. So we still got a ways to go on those to place them. Now, the luxury hotel is a whopping 250,000. And 4,000 per week. But I want to think about that. A zoo is 225,000 and 5,600. So those are some things that we could think about with respect to that. Now, it looks like a lot of ore trucks are getting off. An ore mining truck is getting off here. So let's go take a look at intersections, junctions. And let's stop that way and stop this way. And give the... I think this is a good route. And it looks as if the good thing is we must be having the truck traffic from the ore coming over and preferring this route to going this route. I don't know if that's true, but... And the other unintended consequence of this, even though, let's see, They do have a way to get to the to the cargo harbor this way, and plenty do. But they also can get there via this direction too. They can come. I don't know why they would do that, but maybe that is considered to be more of a direct route. So quite a bit of traffic there. We just solved the traffic problem there with junctions. This is what I like. I like using some of the built-in traffic that they've implemented. And I do like Traffic Manager, but I find using it, my resources to get taxed a bit. All right, we still aren't really growing. Demand, we have met nearly no demand, very low demand on all fronts here. So I want to check. I'm going to go ahead and speed the simulation up to get some things going. I don't want to overbuild and go too fast, but I do realize we're about 11 years, or almost exactly 11 game years into this build, and we're at 60,000 population, and I feel like when I go back to episode 11 and episode 10 of the series that we're not really growing that fast. So it's been kind of a slow growth, which I like. And I think slow growth can, if you don't grow too much residential at any one given time, there's a rule of thumb that I read somewhere, and I haven't actually religiously tried it, but I don't remember what it said. If it said 128 squares, that seems too small, but it indicated that when you have demand, don't build over so much in the way of residential. So I don't know if that's actually a way to prevent the death waves. And it makes sense. If you overbuild and grow too fast, it makes perfect sense that then you will create a situation where a lot of people get old at the same time. So people are pretty happy in our town. I never can seem to conquer the whole commercial, so I probably do something totally wrong with commercial. We've got a lot of level 5, mostly level 4 in the residential area. We don't have any water pollution. Our traffic, 75. I'd like it to be closer to 80. It just creeped up a little bit. Fire safety, I think I could do some enhancements. It looks like, it does look like this bent tree area could use a firehouse. So I think I will put a firehouse. Let's see, does that get them? Or this probably does better. We'll just do a firehouse right there. Okay, and I did get those guys. Alright, so fire hazard. Crime, 6%. We haven't tackled that darn transportation issue, but this is where I was headed. The population module. So we're right around 60,000 people, and we've got low unemployment, and we've got 26% seniors. So I think that's what we're seeing, a little bit of this. There are some deaths happening. I'm going to go ahead and look to see. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put a crematorium right there. And we're going to throw one right there. Okay, and we have neglected the crematoriums. For Lilac Park, we don't have any, so I'm going to go ahead and throw one right there. Just enhancing Brook Parks a little bit. Put a Paradox Plaza in there. Not that anybody in the farming community would care about that. Now I think what we've done is we have set the groundwork for growth. So I think that pretty quickly here we're going to see some good growth. And I'm going to wait on that. And I want to continue to... I'm hesitant to build too much commercial along these lower density roads. But I want to fulfill that a bit. So I think this is a higher density road, so let's go ahead and build some of that. And you can see that not a lot of that residential that we built, a certain amount has built, but we've definitely fulfilled it. So, all right. I think this is working well with the traffic lights being modified a little bit. We have created a bit of a backup here, and I thought this might end up being an issue with the number of intersections along here. You've got, stacking and stacking all the way back to here, so that is something that we probably need to address. I do believe that this is a wrap, and we are moving along in our wonderful city. And thank you for watching. This concludes this exciting episode. And next time we may tackle this road work that I did over here. We have not developed it at all, so that's something to look at. Might think about a little bit more leisure or tourism type stuff down there. So stay tuned and comment, let me know what you think, and I'll try to incorporate things into our wonderful city of Appletown, a new beginning.